I mean, with humans being the social creatures that we are, I guess government is inevitable, but still, I would rather not have any form at all.
Prepare to
But
compete in 60
why?
seconds.
I still don't understand how it's detrimental in any way.
In any way?
Why?
I mean, okay, I guess it comes from my, like, cynicism. I don't have faith in leaders, I suppose, is why. Like, you put anybody...
Regardless
you-
on whether or not you have faith in leaders, how is it detrimental? Like, yes, okay, it might not be good, but how is it actually detrimental to the human race?
Okay.
Like,
How is
that's
it
not
worse to not, or how is it worse to have government than to not?
I don't know, man. I guess it's just, like, it follows a path, and eventually it's just... No government has existed very long in its golden age, I guess, is how I could put it.
Democracy has lasted quite a while.
I mean, yeah, I mean, like, countries as a whole, though.
well. To put it in a simple way,
You just need no. Bukowski just needs to become a dictator, and then he'll like government.
Of course. But
Well-
that's what I'm going off of, though. Like, people are just inherently corrupt when put in positions of power.
no,
That's why
but
Whether big or small.
Okay, let Mr. New talk.
that doesn't detriment people as a human race. The truth of it is that hard times create strong people,
Mission
and
begins
strong
in 30
people create good
Stop.
times,
Stop.
Shut the
and
fuck up.
Stop.
good times
Stop.
create weak
No,
people,
please. No,
and weak people
no.
create hard times.
Go
And it's just
away.
a circle. It's just a fucking circle.
That's stupid.
And like, no, that's really how it is though. When you have a good life, you're less likely to be able to pass that on
Mission
and be
begins in
prosperous
10
for
seconds.
future generations. And like, yes, we're kind of in that slump right now, but that doesn't mean that government as a whole is detrimental to the human race. In fact, if anything, the existence of government has allowed us to exist and like be more successful as humans over time. Because in reality, the goal for all people, like the long-term goal, is to be able to communicate ideas effectively and live a long and healthy life. And that
But I
doesn't
mean, if we're
necessarily...
talking long-term goals, government perpetuates our, like, resource drain, and therefore
What
we're going...
resource strain are you talking
Just like oil and trees and shit like that. Like,
What?
we need to
Oh.
support a
Go
larger
no, 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 no,
population that
destroying
gov-
the
But it has
forest.
nothing to do
Jill
with that.
Stein,
See,
2016.
no. Listen, I'm not for environmental shit because the reality of the situation is, regardless on whether or not we have a government, like, and regardless on whether or not humans are even here, eventually this planet and every planet around it and the sun and the entire solar system is going to die. And everything that we know and that we will ever
And
know,
your kids die
and
too.
like everything in the entire universe and beyond will be
And beyond.
dead. Like it's not going to exist anymore
yeah.
eventually. And so people protecting the environment and shit for future generations
And beyond.
is just bullshit so that they can feel better about perpetuating the human race, which isn't even significant in the long term. The reality of the situation is that the only thing that matters in our entire minuscule lives is our lives. We are the only thing that matters in our entire life because our entire world is just us, and the day we die, our entire world is gone and we will never be conscious again. And that's
It's
it.
a bit of
I
a
thought
selfish
you-
mentality, though.
That
I
is
thought
the
you
entire
were-
universe. To you is your life, and your life will end, and you will not have a universe anymore.
I
Everything
thought
you
you
know
were
will be
religious.
gone
like, very
forever.
religious.
I am religious, but that doesn't mean I'm not practical. The fact of the matter is, you
But
die.
practicality is like the
No.
opposite of religion.
No, that's not true. Because you can believe in
Not
heaven,
true, Governor.
but if you go to heaven, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're still going to be conscious in this world. Like, that they don't have to be
What if we're in
the
heaven
same
right now?
thing. And besides, religion aside, just speaking like logically, there is no sense in thinking that like our universe or the way we affect the universe will continue once we're dead. So the only logical solution or the only thing that makes sense is that once we die, the universe ends for us. That is it. We only exist and then we don't exist. And that is all of our lives.
That doesn't mean you don't have a
everything.
lasting impact.
Regardless, our lasting impact does not matter. It doesn't matter because our universe won't exist anymore. When you're dead, you're not going to be alive to worry about the fact that you littered during your lifetime, and because of that, the polar bears won't exist for 2 generations after you. When you die, you will be dead, and that is it. And yes, you might be sad now if you litter and think about that, but the reality is once you die, you're not going to give a shit. In fact, you won't even not give a shit. You just won't be. That's it. And so, because of that, I don't give a shit about, like, environmental lobbyists. I don't sympathize with them, because we're fighting for something that is ultimately going to end either way. And while I'm not going to go out of my way to litter or to make the world a worse place, I sure as hell am not going to fight for something that is literally just not going to directly, like, pertain to me in my lifetime. And if it does, the worst that it'll ever end up doing to me is kill me. And I'm gonna die anyway. So, win-win. I don't need to worry about it, I don't need to stress about it, and I end up living a happy life. And that's that. Then I die, and it's gone. So, to talk about the government issue we were talking about, the government doesn't detriment anyone. In fact, it makes people's lives longer. On average, over time it has. And it's made it so that we can have a sort of hive mind, which allows us to communicate ideas to each other during our lifetimes, which adds to our quality of life, which can add to scientific discoveries, which can add to several other good things that can perpetuate life and allow us to have a more enjoyable experience while we're on Earth. An anarchy, while in theory could work, probably will never work, first off, and second off, in reality is a pretty lonely mentality that will probably diminish the quality of life that most people will have, which is actually a pretty bad idea considering literally the quality of your life is the only thing that you will ever have. Ever. All of your material possessions aside, the quality of your life is the only thing that will actually ever matter for your entire existence.
But what if you enjoy fighting for nature?
If you enjoy fighting for nature, then by all means do that, but don't force other people to.
But what if you enjoy forcing other people to fight for nature?
Well, then by all means do that, but the other people can walk away, and they have the right to not listen to you.
This
what
is
if you don't
where
like raids?
my philosophy just comes into play. Like, do whatever you want as long as you don't affect somebody else's life without their consent.
Yeah, that's essentially it.
Yes, but what if that's exactly what I like to do without consent?
Well, then you're an asshole.
Yeah, but like, what if that's a good thing?
Like, that's it. You're just an asshole if you do that.
What's the...
Like, it's
What?
not about, oh, well, what if you don't want this, what if you don't want that? That doesn't matter, because Ultra, all of the questions you're asking don't have to do with you. Frankly, just do whatever you want to do in your life, and that's it. That is the only thing that matters in your life. You. Because you are the only thing that exists in your universe. Everything else is just kind of around you, and in your whole lifetime, the only thing that will stay constant is you and who you are. Everything else will change. Everything else will come and go. But you will be there from the day you're born until the day you die. So, you better act on your own benefit.
Yeah, I know that. I know.